Um, I thought I had a video on TestOne, but I'm not finding one. So I'm going to go ahead and record one fairly quickly. Just quick introduction. This is an online test. You're free to go work on it. I'm in the Imsoul module, and I'm finding a little oddity here of the due date. I thought I had this on the 19th. Let me see when the 20th of February is. I may have extended it. Yeah, I did. I think because we're starting late. So I'll leave that way. It may be different at St. Louis Community College. Um, but anyway, let's go ahead. This is open right now. I'm in assignments. You'll find it in the same place in Merrimack. Um, Click over there real quickly. It tells you graded quiz worth 88 points. It's a little different test at St. Louis Community College than it is at Imsoul. Simply, I just created some excess problems and used some in one and some in another. Um, and on the syllabus, it's worth 75 points. So there's 13 extra credit points built in at Imsoul. I think there's more than that at St. Louis Community College, and that's just how it worked out. So anyway, notice it says you can work on this for approximately 5 weeks. I'll let you work with one another, but do not turn one another's work in. I repeat, for the multipleth time, I'm 19 out of 20 in front of the dean on this stuff. So let's just take a quick look. It's pretty much the same at um, Imsoul, and you can see it's due a little earlier. It's due 2 days earlier at St. Louis Community College. It showed February 18. Um, no, it can be this test can be saved and resumed later. So what you do is you click Save All Answers. When you are finished, click Save and Submit. Periodically, students will work on it, work on it, work on it, but will not save and submit. Remember, by the due date, save and submit. If you do that prematurely, I will have to delete the entire exam. Um, and if there's already a video out about this, I apologize. I went through all of my videos and I didn't see one, but I didn't go real slow, and I sure didn't watch them. So the first 10 questions are a little bit snarky about how do you learn, what's your learning skills. Um, Pick the best available answer. The absolute best answer may not be in the choices you have. Great uh, quote from Mark Twain in question 8. Suppose I am an idiot. Suppose I am in Congress. Oh, but I repeat myself. Anyway, they like to prove this time and again, and so that's part of why we have it. I heard Hal Holbrook say that in one of his Mark Twain Tonight presentations. Um, Question 11, that's about the sources of law video or the source of law taping. I think this question about what are the names of courts is in both people. Um, Question 14, and they vary a little. They're going to look a little different, but this is, as you can see, it's 20 points. This is a pretty big deal. Look up here. Notice how many points are available to you in each of these, and so be very careful that you do everything that's asked of you. And you notice it says good answers should consider. So, here's how I would do this. One of the things I would do in this test is actually create a Word document with the answers to each question, just in case you make a mistake. Because if you make a mistake, click Save and Submit. I have to reset the entire test. All your answers are gone. Okay, so you better have a Word backup. And periodically computers make mistakes, and you'll have done something like even copied and pasted in text, and then it'll turn it to gibberish. when I open it, I'll see gibberish. I go, oh, wait a minute, gibberish. Can you email me what you had? And you've got a backup instead of if you try to go in and access the test, which you can't once you've submitted it, you've got nothing. We can work with it if you've got, because these things happen, and I understand that, you know, the digital world is far from perfect. But I would sit there and go federal courts, state courts, in rem jurisdiction, and long arm jurisdiction. Oh, okay. Well, he's telling me what I need to go research. And this may or may not be in the book. It is. But go look at those sections of the text. Go online. Google's actually fairly good. Um, Tough little question here. So anyway, we get a bunch of essay questions. Notice how many points they're worth. 10 points. That's a lot here. In an 88-point test, that's an eighth of your grade or a ninth of your grade. There's a whole bunch of them. And I will give you somewhat the answer to question 18. If the FBI calls you about your business and they say we're conducting an investigation, your little rabbit ears should go up because the FBI does not investigate jaywalking. It investigates felonies, federal felonies. And a federal felony on your record is not a good thing. One of the most powerful tools American citizens have is the Fifth Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, and the Sixth Amendment. And so let me give you a little advice of how I would handle this. If the FBI called me and they're talking about, hey, we'd like to talk to you about some incidents that occurred at your workplace. Folks, you can have guilt by association, guilt by being in the same room when somebody said something and you failed to talk up or you failed to put a kibosh on it. The laws of conspiracy are broadening constantly. I would be, maybe I'm paranoid. I'd be paranoid here. 3 years long in the federal penitentiary doesn't look too good on the resume. Oh, you got a felony conviction at the federal level? We might hire somebody else. You hear what I'm saying? So how do you get around that? The Fifth Amendment is the key, but the best way to assert the Fifth Amendment is to tell the FBI, you can give them your name and address. They can confirm you work for this outfit. But after that, you should begin saying, I would like to talk to an attorney. Here's the other key. There are some fairly recent Supreme Court cases that make it very clear that if you ask for an attorney, they don't have to give it to you right now. They can keep talking to you. Of course, they're going to talk about the weather and they're going to talk about this, and then they're going to ask you a specific question about your workplace, and you might say something. You've waived any Fifth Amendment right you have. All you do is, they say, hey, can we get you a cup of coffee? Yeah, can my lawyer have some too? What do you think about the weather? My lawyer says, lawyer, 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 lawyer. Even the Supreme Court of the United States, in its most conservative mode, thinks that if you ask for a lawyer 5 or 6 times, the FBI has to just go, okay, this guy wants a lawyer. We got to quit playing with it. What you can then do is explain this to the attorney, and the attorney can tell you whether or not to testify, whether to assert the Fifth Amendment. Maybe I'm paranoid here, but I don't like to assert the Fifth Amendment. I like to assert the Fifth Amendment under the advice of counsel. I'm using my Sixth Amendment right to counsel, and it's not me that doesn't want to tell you the truth. My lawyer, who knows the law better than I do, says I am going to assert a right given to me under the Constitution of the United States of America. That's all I know about it. I don't know anything about being guilty or not guilty. I'm following my lawyer's advice because lawyers know more about the law than I do. I hope that makes some sense to you. Anyway, basically, so take that and kind of bring it in a little quicker, but, basically you should look at everything. This asks you, what are your amendments? So go look at the fourth, fifth, sixth amendment and start listing all the constitutional protections you get as a potential accused, because that's essentially what you're doing. When they start talking to people, what they're usually doing is what they call the squeeze up. When you're doing toothpaste, you're supposed to squeeze from the bottom. Well, they do this in prosecutions. Let's say you're working for Warren Buffett. Boy, that would be really good if I were the prosecutor and I could put Warren Buffett on trial for a federal felony. I'd be on the front page of every newspaper in the United States. Next thing I'm doing, I'm in the Senate conference room because they're going to call me Senator Bailey. Do you understand what I'm saying, folks? It's a power and full incentive, and taking down the one percenters is a big deal. They can really make a lot of press out of that, and huge numbers of the press think, oh, great, they took down a corporate boss. So we're always a target because we're in the profit making business. I think ultimately they'll grow up and they understand that profit's a good thing, but right now that's not what's planned. Anyway, take your time with this. You've got 5 weeks. Think it all through. Work on a prototype. Read it over. Make sure you get rid of all the typos. There's no reason something you've had 5 weeks to work on, even though there's a lot of other work in this class, shouldn't be your best work. So I hope that helps you a little bit to understand test one, and good luck. I look forward to seeing them. Thanks. Bye.